Feeling cut off from everyone and everything can be a common experience throughout life. It's easy to let yourself slide into hopelessness when experiencing these emotions. But what if there are excellent reasons for the universe to keep you apart? What if the times when you feel the most alone and distant are actually windows of opportunity? Let's explore 4 reasons why the universe could be placing you in a timeout and the life-changing lessons you might learn from each encounter. Loneliness is an unpleasant experience, but it may teach you to appreciate your own company when you take the time to embrace it. During your time alone, the universe is gently, or sometimes not so gently, encouraging you to enjoy your own company. The finest friendship you can develop is the one you have with yourself, corny as it may seem. When you're alone yourself, no one else's thoughts or opinions can cloud your own. When you're alone yourself, you can really hear what you're thinking. When no one is watching, you begin to doubt your identity. Where do my interests lie? Where do my hopes, anxieties, and dreams come from? These solutions will not come from others, whether in the form of counsel or social media endorsements. This is your chance to dig deep and discover who you are. The more secure you are in your own skin, the less you'll look to others for approval. That's a gift that will improve your life forever. It's simple to take on the beliefs, habits, and aspirations of those around us when we're continuously immersed in their company. We often morph into what others want or expect us to be. In contrast, being alone is like being handed a blank canvas and told to create anything you want. Take stock of your core values, investigate the facts you've learned, and ask yourself whether they ring true. Perhaps you've spent too long accepting someone else's version of reality. Spending time alone allows you to rediscover your own values and discard any false pretenses. It's like doing a cleanse for your mind and spirit, bringing you back into harmony with who you truly are. Until you have no other choice than to be strong, you will never know just how strong you really are. Learning to be content being alone is an essential ability in life. Your time alone will teach you independence, the value of self-care, and problem-solving skills you can apply in any situation. Developing a sense of autonomy requires training in independence. A fresh independence develops as one learns to rely on themselves to handle life's complexity. You are liberated from relying on others to complete you or help you through difficult times. Your cosmic isolation isn't intended to turn you become a hermit. It's laying the groundwork for deeper, more rewarding relationships with loved ones, as well as stronger friendships and family ties. Your relationships will change for the better after you've learned to love and accept yourself. People who add to your life rather than detract from it are drawn to you. Your time alone is not a punishment, but rather an opportunity for you to develop as a person. This time in your life helps you grow into a more self-aware, confident version of yourself who recognizes their value and can bring their complete self into partnerships. This is how you develop a true and profound bond that will serve as a foundation for future relationships. When you're constantly in the company of others, it's tempting to take your interactions with them for granted. It's easy to take excellent relationships for granted when they're plentiful, but your viewpoint will alter radically after some time spent alone, craving real connection. After suffering through loneliness, it's natural to treat the person who eventually speaks to your heart like gold. You will value human connection more and be less likely to take it for granted once you have experienced its true worth. You'll be a better friend or partner as a result of your newfound admiration. You learn what you will and will not accept about yourself when you spend time alone. You have strengthened your sense of self-respect throughout your time alone. Since you've realized your value, you no longer care what others think of you. You're able to set firm boundaries, making it apparent that disrespect has no place in your life. This is not a self-centered move. It's a self-loving gesture that benefits society as a whole. Relationships benefit from better equilibrium and harmony when good boundaries are enforced. You foster a community where affection and appreciation may grow. You could worry that isolating yourself would make you less empathetic. In fact, the reverse is true. When you're alone yourself, you have time to delve into the innermost parts of your being. You get to know your weaknesses as well as your strengths, your hopes and your anxieties. Learning about oneself is a necessary prerequisite for developing empathy. After all, how can you grasp the intricacies of another person's sentiments if you haven't unraveled your own? When you take the time to get to know yourself, you'll be more equipped to handle the emotional challenges of interpersonal interactions. It's a straightforward equation. What you have is all that you can give. You can't provide love and care to others if you don't have any left to give. You've been able to replenish your reserves of self-love and self-care thanks to your time spent alone. Self-love establishes a standard for how you expect and welcome love from others. You'll be a better friend and family member as well as lover because of this. When you treat yourself with kindness and compassion, it's easier to extend such qualities to others. In order to strengthen your spiritual bond, your relationships will shift from being duty-based to joyful. You may be baffled as to why it appears that God has placed you in a timeout, forcing you to figure out the intricacies of life on your own. It's discouraging and aggravating all at once. But what if this time is a sign from above? You may be feeling alone because the universe is sending you a message of spiritual connection rather than rejection. When you're alone yourself, free from outside influences, you might feel yourself approaching the sacred. In the stillness, you begin to grasp a reality that had before evaded you. You are never really alone. There is a waiting co-pilot in the form of the universe, God, or whatever you choose to call that greater force. Have you ever thought about how being alone compels you to engage in activities that feed your spirit? No one prays, meditates, or studies the scriptures because they feel compelled to. They strike a chord inside you, and you find yourself pulled to them like a magnet. It's as if your spirit understands these rituals as its own language. Via them, you find the kind of tranquility that cannot be attained via the company of others or the pursuit of material pleasures. You may use this tranquil place as a safe haven and a source of inner strength no matter what challenges life throws at you. The spiritual link can be fine-tuned by spending time alone. You are now more attuned to heavenly signs and messages, and may thus recognize them as such. These signals often arrive in subtle forms, an unexpected synchronicity, a dream, or even a spontaneous intuitive understanding. You are more receptive to these revelations because you have strengthened your connection to your spiritual guidance. You don't write them off as random occurrences. You know these signs are the hand of God pointing you in the proper route. Yes, there may be times when you feel lonely, but ultimately, you should see this time as the most precious gift that life has to offer. It's like the universe is handing you a golden ticket, not to avoid hardships, but to rise above them by drawing closer to God, to distinguish you, to heal your spirit. Traumas are life's deepest scars, and they have a way of following you wherever you go. If left ignored, these traumas may infiltrate into every aspect of your existence, tainting your relationships, objectives, and even your self-view. Take note of this. Your difficulties are not unknown to the cosmos. It understands that repressed pain may tarnish the good life you deserve. It's possible that the trauma you're trying to overcome isn't yours alone. It could be a sad legacy passed down from one generation to the next. Sometimes the trauma you've experienced is unique to you, stemming from events in this or a previous life. You need to pay close attention to these sources of suffering, whether they are inherited or personal. It's important to focus undividedly most of the time. It's as if the universe itself chose you to stop the cycle of negativity in your family via your spiritual awakening. If not you, then who? So why now? Simply said, you're prepared. You are equipped with the self-awareness and spiritual resources to not just overcome these traumas, but to recover from them. You're not only breaking the pattern, You're really turning the tide. Years, maybe millennia of suffering are being transformed by you into knowledge. For anything of this magnitude, your private study must be treated as a place of worship. Have faith that you are a vital part of the universe's grand drama and that your time alone is not wasted. Believe in this divine arrangement. Believe in the process. And most of all, believe in your own potential to emerge from this season not shattered, but entire, possibly for the first time. Your current isolation is a present to your future self. A whole lot of people who need the truth you worked so hard to reveal, not to mention a chance to repair yourself and your family's legacy. Now is your chance. Give into it. Consider it a treasure. In the end, you'll realize that you had support the whole time. You felt the comforting embrace of a cosmos that has faith in your ability to bring about positive change via love and compassion.